Josh, I got to tell you, I really love this song that you wrote.
Yeah, man.
What do you call it?
Jack Ritter.
Jack Ritter?
Jack Ritter, yep.
Yep. It's really a fun one. Opens up the scene. You know, speaking of music.
Yeah, speaking of music.
What do you think about listening to music while you're riding the mountain bike trails?
Well, that's a very interesting topic, and I think we're going to talk a lot about everything to do with music and bicycles today. And we'll start out with kind of one really interesting thing, right? Like Mike and I, Hype Man and I, do something occasionally, maybe more than occasionally, that is considered by many to be the biggest douche move you can do on a bicycle. And that is we listen to music while we're riding, but we use a Bluetooth speaker so that not only we get to listen to it, but everyone else that's on the trail that we pass and maybe that hears us from canyon to canyon, they get to listen to it too. There's a specific reason why we do that. We are completely torn about the fact that we do that, but the fact remains that we do it.
Yeah. And as music loving, bike riding fanatics, it's like the best of both worlds. But yeah, it is a double-edged sword because I'm sure there's some folks out there who don't appreciate it like we do.
But there's a practical reason why we do that outside of our love for music, which we both have. And arguably we could both just listen to, headphones or one headphone or whatever and get the same kind of experience. But why is it that we listen to music out loud?
So brings back the first podcast. Originally, the whole reason we did it was to scare away the mountain lions, right?
Mountain lions, jaguars, javelina. We didn't talk about javelina in the first one, right? Those are the tusked pigs that live. They're not actually pigs,
of the desert.
Just giant rodents that live in the desert that will
never
actually
funny,
attack
Josh?
you. What's up?
Do you remember when you were riding up in Alaska, your mountain bikes up there?
I do. I absolutely remember that.
Yeah. Do you remember what you came home with? I don't see it on maybe it's on one of your other bikes. Do you remember what you put on your handlebars for a little bit?
That's actually a great story, right? So we went up this summer. We have some really good friends, Andy and Allison, that relocated from Tucson to Alaska. That's moving to the other side of the planet. They actually were originally from there. At least Allison was from there. And they were so gracious to host us in their house for a week. And so we, took advantage of that opportunity. We'd been wanting to get up there for a while. This is the first time that we were able to make it happen through the Alaska Air credit card program, which is awesome. You get a free companion pass.
Cool.
So the wife and I both, got the credit card. We both got the companion pass, and we were able to, kind of buy 4 round trip tickets for the family for the price of 2.
Nice.
And we went up to Alaska, got to do the whole, experience the whole Alaska thing. Our friends live there in Anchorage. We actually went down to Seward and stuff, and we saw a lot of it. So I highly recommend in the summertime, if you haven't, to take a trip up to Alaska. Such an amazing place. But we did do some great mountain biking there, just right around the Anchorage area. And the amount of bears that are in that area are just, it's crazy, the amount of bears. And so, as a matter of fact, the first day we were there, out behind their house, our kids were down with their kids kind of jumping on their trampoline, and this black bear comes stumbling out of the woods. And the oldest boy, who's 13, Alaska people, they are so much more hardcore. We think in the desert that we're pretty hardcore. I got to tell you, those Alaska people, they're just completely hardcore. But their youngest or their oldest son, he jumps off the trampoline, he runs over, he kind of grabs his flip flops and slams them together. And he's like, "Hey, get out of here, black bear." And the black bear runs away. That's the whole thing, right? They're just so hardcore.
Wow.
But there you ride always with a bell, a little jingly, kind of jingle bell.
Jingle bell.
Jingle bell, yep. You ride on a bell on your bike. They call it a bear bell. And that lets the bear know that you're there, or the bears know that you're there. And so we came home with them, and they're annoying. They're so annoying that I took it off.
I was wondering if it fell off or why it wasn't on there anymore, but you took it off. It was too annoying?
I took it off because it's too annoying, which is so funny considering the fact that we, blare music. Now, to be fair,
it's an interesting comparison.
It is right. But to be fair, the only time I play music anymore is with you.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. If I'm
well, I don't want to be the, the root cause of the trouble, but I got to tell you, I love the music. And, you've got such an eclectic, like we talked about, the Beach Boys, up to what else? Oh, disco music we were listening to that one time.
Yeah,
right?
There was a couple of weeks ago I was really into the real legitimate 1980s disco, ABBA, that kind of stuff. Yep.
Yes, but what's nice about it is if you're gonna surprise me with a genre that I'm just not quite used to, you'll give me a heads up the night before, where it's like, hey, just so you know, tomorrow I'm playing this.
I'm really into yodeling music this week, so just get prepared for
it. you never know with you, Magellan, what's going to be on the speaker, but it is fun out there. What's interesting is we're looking at the Pink Bike comments. Did you take a look at any of those about the survey of people riding with or without music?
I read through the survey, but I didn't look at the comments at all. So what do you got there, man? What'd you find?
So this one's awesome. This is Pink Bike. So shout out to those guys. This is from a comment from Traxamatsu a couple years ago. It says, sometimes we play music for the sole purpose of keeping the grizzly bears away. So this is not a foreign concept. This is
We're not the
real.
only ones. We're not the only ones who do it, right? There's others.
Correct. That's right.
Oh man, that is funny. So so we go out, we ride in the morning early, and we've got our music playing, and it's pretty eclectic. It can go anything from, I think we've had the Beach Boys, I was really into Toadies, we've had Hype Man and I, we talked about the Jack White concert coming up, and we went to see them a little bit ago. So we've had Jack White playing, you name it. There's kind of no genre that's off the hook. Wet Leg. We were into Wet Leg for a minute. That's a great band. By the way, do you remember we got tickets to see Wet Leg?
In September.
So, yeah, 16 days.
Oh, wow.
16 days.
Shoot.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. It's in the middle of the week, dude. So you got to get the kitchen pass all lined up.
Yep. We'll do.
I totally forgot about that. But,
okay, let me ask you this: Is it the music choice, or have you had complaints on the trail?
I don't know that I've had any. I mean, besides my wife, who we've talked about Lacey, who basically says you guys are big giant douchebags for playing music. You definitely don't get good looks from people when you come by playing music, right? They give you that look what in the heck are you doing?
So do you think it's because people are out there, they like the sound of nature, the sound of their bike, everything that's going on, out there on the trail, or is it because they're jealous they don't have a speaker, or what do you think it comes from? I don't think
it has anything to do with jealousy, but let's take an analogy here and see if we can draw a comparison. So think back to when you're a kid, or maybe even today, and there's some kids driving by in their car, and they're just blaring their music, and it's way louder than they need it. So they're not playing it for themselves. They're playing it for you, but you have no interest in hearing it. Right.
Okay. That's a great analogy.
Yeah. Think about how you feel. How do you feel? You don't like it.
I was like, hey, turn that down. I don't say anything, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So I'm coming around to I don't know, man. Do we stop doing it? Do we stop playing the music? What do we do?
I've got a solution for you.
Oh, I'm interested. Let's do it.
Yeah. So I think this one is quite the solution for you, Josh, and for a multitude of reasons. But let me just read to you what they said about this.
Okay.
So maybe you've heard of this, and I'm just late to the game. But it's called bone conducting headphones. Have you heard of those?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I got a pair, but keep going. Head shocks.
Okay. All right. Well, I got to laugh at the description. It says, it vibrates just like a speaker does, but they rest on your head, so they vibrate your skull. Maybe it's great, but it just seems like, I don't know if they've done the studies on how good it is for the skull.
So a couple years ago, one of my employees, shout out to Mario Carfy, great guy, but he got me a pair of head shocks, which is that technology. And he was like, "Hey man, this, I know you love music and I know you love to ride your bike. This will give you an opportunity to still have your situational awareness, but listen to your music at the same time." I wore them. I did not like them. It kind of, what it feels like when the inside of your ear like jiggles and then tickles. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
I do not actually.
All right. Well, next time I see you in person, I'll tickle the inside of your ear. How's that sound?
Wet willy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, not a wet willy, but it feels kind of weird. And so to me, the whole time I'm riding or the whole time I'm using those head shocks, it just feels like that. I tried them for a bit and then I gifted them to my youngest. So, Mad Matt Graham, he uses the head shocks and he loves them. But,
oh, cool.
But, there's kind of a deeper topic here, right? And like, so around the whole like topic of should you listen to music when you ride? And when you listen to music, should you listen with earphones or not with earphones? And, we've kind of been talking about how big of a douchebag move it is, to listen with your music blaring so everyone can hear it. But what about like putting it in your ear, right? So there's this whole concept, and I got a couple articles here I want to talk about. So the first one, it's by Hannah Busey, Cycling Weekly. Okay. It's from February of this year. And she, basically the title of the article is "Should You Cycle with Earphones In?" She has a couple main points, but let me kind of walk through some of the logic of this article here. So the first thing she says is there's this group, the E-Survey of road user attitudes. This has got to be something in England. It totally sounds like a British thing. I lived in England for a couple of years. Yeah. They carried out a survey in 60 countries covering 6 continents. And the result of that, survey was that 58% of the participants across all the regions supported a ban of use of headphones while cycling. Now, I think this is primarily on the road where that would make sense. Interfacing, interacting with traffic, with pedestrians, with other type of motorists and vehicles.
Yeah. Did you know, along that topic, there's state laws on the books prohibiting like headphone use, something that would make it so you can't hear a siren or a horn?
Yeah. So like that's actually the next paragraph in this article. It says the laws.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. The laws in the United States on wearing headphones are decided state by state, with most amounting to it being illegal to ride with headphones covering or in both ears. Yeah. Although some states have a strict ban on riding on the road altogether with headphones on. What were you going to say?
Yeah. Do you know what those states are?
I do not. Do you?
Yeah, I do. So it's on a similar article, but not by Hannah. But this one, it's Florida and Rhode Island. Anything that inhibits hearing of sirens or horns. But then recently, they said it's okay to ride on non-road bike paths in Florida. Okay.
All right. So mountain bikers are good in Florida.
Yep. They're good. And then in California, Delaware, and Maryland, 1 ear is okay, but not in both. Yeah, because you have to have 1 ear listening.
Oh man, I have I'm not going to admit to breaking state laws on the podcast here, so we'll just refrain from going down that path. Something else this article says, right? It makes the case that contrary to popular opinion, listening to music while cycling might not be as detrimental to your health and safety as you might believe. So listen to this logic, right? They're saying that there's been a study done by Dr. Katrina Jungnickel and Dr. Rachel Aldred, and they found that the use of music in headphones actually helped create a sensory strategy that enabled cyclists to cope with riding in a dangerous environment by effectively calming the overload of sensory data.
Oh, wow. So it's a benefit, not just makes you feel good to ride, but it actually has a benefit to your riding.
Yeah,
from listening to music.
So I've been trying to kind of wrap my head around that whole concept. And like kind of, I drew this analogy to like some movies, right? And see if you can follow me on this. Maybe you can, maybe I'm just out to lunch or I've had too much bourbon. By the way, I'm back on the bourbon today.
Right on.
Yeah. Punk rock. So you think of a movie where there's like a crazy, like shooting scene or a fight scene and all kinds of crazy stuff going on, right? It's super loud. There's all kinds of, shots and screams and explosions and bangs and all that kind of stuff. And every once in a while in these type of movies, they kind of slow it down and maybe like the live audio track gets replaced by music. And sometimes it's music that doesn't really match the scene or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden the combination of that, losing all of that audio stimulation, right? That vocal or not vocal, but that audible stimulation,
mm-hmm.
almost makes the scene more easy to track, pay attention to,
sure.
understand. And so
that does make sense.
I think this is the same concept, is that they're saying, hey, having that music can like kind of calm you because you've got one of your senses kind of focused, in something that's calm and rhythmic, or it doesn't have to be calm, but it's rhythmic and it's expected. And so you can deal with the unexpected things, that are going on, on the trail, on the road, on the path, on whatever. It's pretty interesting.
It's actually really, fascinating how that works.
So in addition to like this, ability to kind of create a sensory strategy that helps you cope, with the overload of sensory data, they talk about like, what does music actually do to you physiologically? And they say like one of the most like effective and legal performance enhancing drugs is actually music.
Wow.
And they quote this, study from Dr. Kostas Karageorgis from Brunel University. They say is one of the foremost experts in sports psychology. I don't know that to be true, but that's what the article says.
Mm-hmm.
Basically said that there's evidence that says when listening to your favorite artist, it can increase your endurance by up to 15% while lowering your perception of effort. Also demonstrated that music can also trick your mind into feeling less tired during a workout and also help to encourage positive thoughts.
Well, I think we've all experienced that when you're working out and you have music, it kind of takes away the pain a little bit and pushes you on, doesn't it?
All right. So what have we learned today? We learned that it's illegal to ride with headphones in lots of places.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually better to have music. Maybe a couple studies say it's better to have music to help you deal with the sensory overload. It's definitely, I don't think it's, I think that part you can dispute, but I don't think it's really disputed that like having good music for lots of people helps get you jazzed, pumped up, helps you perform better. Mm-hmm. So the music helps you perform better. The music helps you deal with the sensory overload, and riding with headphones is illegal. So could you make the case that what we do is actually the best option?
I think if you really break it down, it's keeping off the path mountain lions. So that's safe.
Yep.
It's helping us focus on our ride and keep pushing and getting through the pain, which is a positive. Short of the downside of annoying the heck out of everyone else on the trail, I just see all good things about it.
Yeah. Yep.
So do the other riders need earplugs? Is that the solution?
Is that the solution? Just cut off everyone else's.
Here's the best part. Okay. About this whole thing.
Yep.
So we've all gotten songs stuck in our head, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
And so a couple things when we ride by, or when they ride by us, it's more like it when they laugh at us. They're getting a song stuck in their head. And so then that music, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Speaking of songs that get stuck in your head.
Yep, this is it.
Sorry.
This song has been stuck in my head. I'm not going to lie to you, but that's called an earworm.
Yes.
Okay, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know the best way is, well, how do you get rid of the song stuck in your head? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know how to get rid of a song stuck in your head, but I would love to know that. So what's the methodology?
Okay, so the Dostoevsky, the writer, do you know him?
Nope.
Okay, well,
you're going deep into the archives at this point.
I am. He famously said in Winter Notes on Summer Impressions, which I'm surprised you're not familiar with, but that's okay.
You got me.
Okay, he says, try to pose this for yourself, this task, not to think of a polar bear, and you'll see that this cursed thing will come to mind every minute. So the more you focus on that song and trying to get it out of your head, the more it comes back into your head.
This is like the same. This is the same way that I fall asleep at night. Is just push all thoughts out of your mind, and envision a black nothingness, and eventually I fall asleep.
Yes, same idea, Josh.
All right, I got to. Okay, go ahead.
No. I think I have. There were some comments that some other people made on listening to music.
Yeah.
And yet keeping it safe. So I wanted to share that, but I don't want to cut you off.
Okay. So while we're on the so keep that in the back of your head. Don't lose that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
While we're on the topic of like earworms and music getting stuck in your head, it was your birthday recently, right?
Yes, it was.
And I sent you a song to listen to on your birthday. Right? So here's my question: did that song get stuck in your head that day?
A little bit, but I'm not as familiar with it. But that'd be a great one to get stuck in your head.
Yeah, and that song is "Ain't My Job" by the Bloodhound Gang. We're not going to sing it here, but if you're interested, go take a listen to it. It's a great song to send someone on their birthday.
Yeah, it was my favorite birthday message of the day, by the way, by a long shot.
And I have to take credit, right? I can't take full credit. My friend Dave Johnson and I, who I call Neo, like from the Matrix. Oh yeah. Him and I have been sending that song back and forth to each other on our birthdays for probably a decade, maybe longer. So I can't remember if it was his idea first, it was my idea first. So like maybe it was originally my idea and I just recycled it with you, Mike, and maybe it was Neo's idea and I stole it. So Neo, if I stole that idea from you, thank you. I'm giving you credit. And if I didn't steal the idea from you, then I'm keeping the credit, and that's how it works. All right. Back to where did you bookmark where you're at? You know where you're going to go with the comments?
I did.
Punk rock.
Neo, that's a great tradition. So people who like the benefits of music enjoy it, but sometimes they'll say that they can't hear their bike. Let's say something's wrong with it. For example, our last ride, something was loose on your bike and you heard it, or I don't know how you felt it, but even over the music, we were able to hear it. And feel it. So that was good. But so some folks, they say I ride, especially on the road, if there's traffic, they ride with the right earbud in so that they can hear on the left. And maybe that's a good, what would that be? A compromise, right? Yeah.
I tried that the other day. So you and I, so we talked about Chris Curto, and Chris runs, Rincon Valley Bicycle Service, and we're going to have him on. He's agreed to come on the podcast. We're going to have him on at some point. Great guy. And we passed him, one of these mornings or a couple of these mornings, listening to music, out loud. Yeah. And I don't know if he recognized it was us. And then I told him later on, and he's such a nice guy. I'm like, is that like the biggest douche move in the world? And he won't answer me directly, right? He's kind of just like, well, there's a lot of people that really don't like that. And he tells me some stories of a couple of the people, local riders that really hate it. And then he tells me what he does, which is ride with one earphone in or one headphone.
Oh, he does that, right?
He does. Yeah. He said, so he can hear his bike. He can hear what's going on around him. He's a mechanic, so he likes to hear what's going on other ways. Part of the reason, like I ride with the music loud or I ride with headphones on, I kind of don't want to hear what's going on my bike, because as a bike mechanic, it just drives me crazy. If there's any little noise, I have to stop and fix it immediately. And that can kind of ruin a ride. Probably a smart thing to do for the health and safety and viability, long-term viability of my bicycle. But yeah.
Well, I always have this fear of my front wheel falling off. It's probably unfounded, but
not unfounded.
But yeah, It happened?
Oh my God, Mike. So like, I am so glad that we've gone to screw in skewers in the front, because it was like my signature move to not tighten my front wheel. I cannot tell you how many times.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Oh yeah. I cannot tell you how many times I have either had a front wheel come off or have had a front wheel at least come loose.
That's a bad one, I would imagine, as far as in the wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, back in the old days, we had rim brakes, and there was more than one occasion where the rim brake was the only thing that saved me, because it kept the wheel from like just jettisoning. Just jettisoning out, it kind of kept it in place. But yeah, that is my signature move, and I've had a number of people. I'm sure people will come on the podcast and talk about my signature move of not tightening the front skewer enough and being out on a ride and having that come loose. So I'm very,
you have quite
I'm very
a few
grateful.
signature moves.
I have quite a few signature moves. This is this is
think so.
true, man. This is true.
Yeah. So we've talked about you with your musical abilities, as well as just like all genres type of music. You know, what was fun when I was preparing for the podcast, Josh, is a lot of songs came up about bikes. I didn't realize how many songs about bikes there are. So maybe we could, go into some of those.
Oh yeah, tell me, man. I hadn't even thought about this, but go. But I can think of the Queen song, right?
Yeah, that's exactly
like
the
ride
one.
My bicycle. Yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah.
What else?
So that's a great one. We listened to the Beach Boys, and they have a song about riding on bikes and rollerblading and things like that, and freedom that goes with it. And now I forgot about the rest of them. Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd's another one.
Oh yeah, yeah. What's that song? Yeah, I remember the Pink Floyd song. Huh.
I'm not going to remember it right now.
No. So I got one. So this is totally obscure, right? But I totally recommend you guys go look this up, especially if you have kids. There's Lance Armstrong put out a kid's book. I can't remember the name of the book, but maybe
I'm on my computer. Let me look it up quick.
Yeah, look it up. See if you can find the Lance's kids book. But there's a song. There's like an audio CD. This is back in the day when we had CDs. There's an audio CD that accompanied that book, and there was a song called "I Like to Ride." I like to ride, and it's a little kid singing about his bike, and it's like just one of the bicycle songs that's like stuck in my head. Besides the Queen song, right? Those are kind of like the two that are always stuck in my head from earworm perspective.
Yeah. So this is a children's book.
Yeah.
You said so. I'm looking at it's a Lance Armstrong.
It's got a yellow cover. If you can
biography.
See. No, that's probably not it.
It's not a biography. Okay.
It is not a biography, but that's all right. Don't worry about it.
There's another one that says every second counts, but yeah.
Nope. And we probably shouldn't get into Lance Armstrong because that's a totally controversial topic. But I guess we are talking about the fact that we like to play our music, like totally loud and everyone can hear it. And it's a complete douche move. And please put in the comments of this podcast why you think we're like the world's biggest douchebags. Would gladly take that feedback. I also love Lance Armstrong, so tell me why I'm completely off kilter for that perspective as well.
Oh, so it's Lance Armstrong, the race of his life. I think
that's it. That sounds like it. Yeah. Totally sounds.
So
like
you're a Lance Armstrong fan, hey?
Yeah. So I kind of got caught in the magic of it. We were getting into cycling. I'm not a big roadie or anything, but we were getting into cycling and mountain biking at the time. And, my thought is we're going to joke. I mean, I'm a mountain biker, no doubt. I have a gravel bike. It's actually a cycle cross bike that I've got set up really weird. We can talk about that in a future podcast, like our bikes and how we have them set up. But I got a cycle cross bike, got a bunch of mountain bikes. So I'm a mountain biker, hardcore mountain biker. I do not have a road bike at all. Got the gravel bike. But I am totally cool with anything with two wheels, right? Even e-bikes, even things with three wheels and one wheel, if it's a bicycle or like a bicycle, I like it. And so,
right on.
So it was hard, being a lover of cycling to not get all excited about the U.S. Postal Service. When Lance and Hincapie and all those guys were doing all that stuff. And so we watched all those Tour de France's and we just really loved it.
Got hyped.
It total hyped. And and
people say even with the use of whatever it was, that it was still quite an accomplishment.
Yeah,
from everything I've heard.
Yeah, I am not knowledgeable about the performance enhancing stuff that was taken or what was going on in the state of industry. The state if everyone was using it or no one was using it, only Lance was using it. It was
sure.
Big, I don't know, but I know that that helped. What they did was a magical thing for us, and it helped solidify a love of cycling for me that I think is going to last the rest of my life. And so I'm grateful, and I have very fond memories of those races. I think it's unfortunate, I wish that everyone would have been clean and we could have saw what happened if everybody was clean or everybody was doping and, and whatever it was, to put everybody on an equal playing field. I think that would be the best situation. Probably would prefer everyone to be clean because I think it's less harm on the human body. And, we only have one body, so we should try to take care of it as I take another sip of my bourbon in Zevia for my nutritionist, Megan, who's going to be very upset with me about drinking bourbon if she ever listens to this podcast.
So your nutritionist sent over a podcast, which you then sent to me.
Yes,
and I really enjoyed that.
Did you like that?
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And here what was one of the takeaways was what the doctor was speaking of the bodybuilders who used and abused, for lack of a better word, the performance enhancing what would be steroids, right?
Yep.
And so you could see what that did to the bodies, right? But the doctor then made a comment like they learned a lot from what those bodybuilders did on using those types of steroids, right?
Yeah. So there's been a lot of horrible things that have happened in the world that we've gained, leapfrogged our scientific knowledge.
Yeah.
Without getting into all of the horrible things, there's a lot of horrible times, a lot of abuse, a lot of bad things that have happened in the world. And during those times of bad things happening, we've accelerated our understanding. And I think, bodybuilders juicing have taught us a lot about what happens to the human body when you put these type of things into it. Yeah.
Yeah. In the reverse, if you take care of it, like you were saying, we take care of the one body we're given, it can really help all facets of life, whether you're on the trail or, work or focus at, on the computer or whatever. It really makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. All right. Hey, yeah. I want to cover something. So I want to talk about like music and cycling a little bit more, because that's kind of our theme today. And let's bring us back to, I know it's super douchey, right? But if you happen to ride where no one else in the world is, or if there's giant predators out there that you want to scare away, or if you're just in an area where this is totally socially acceptable, I'd like to make a recommendation on what Bluetooth system you should get.
Awesome. Let's hear it.
And I've tried a few. So right now I'm rocking a JBL Flip 5. It's about $100. It's kind of like a size of a tall boy, maybe a little bigger. Fits perfectly into the water bottle cage. It's about 7 inches by 2.9 by 2.2. It's got 12 hours of play. It's got a 5-star rating on Amazon. It's 100% waterproof. And by the way, you want to get a waterproof system, and what you're going to look for is the IPX6. That's India Papa X-ray 6. Oh, I just used NATO phonetics on a podcast. That's hilarious. IPX6 waterproof rating. They just came out with a new one, the JBL Flip 6, which is $130. It's supposed to be louder. Kind of looks like it's very similar, about the same size, but supposed to be improved and a little louder. So I don't think we'll be buying. I don't think I'll be buying the 6 because I don't know that we need any more volume.
Yeah, it's probably don't need more of the volume.
And there's a whole bunch of other ones out there that you can see on Amazon. Treb Lab has a whole group of them. There's a bunch of them. I can't speak to any of those, but got personal. And I've tried a handful that have not worked out so well, like the less expensive ones. But we've had pretty good luck with the JBL Flip 5. So Josh,
have you
go ahead?
Have you seen the one that goes maybe a little more directional, where it goes on your handlebar and faces you, the rider?
I have. Yep.
Wait, have you seen that or heard it? Does it work okay?
Yeah. So like I have, I mean, to be honest, right. I have, you name it, I've probably tried it. And primarily, we live in Tucson, we live in the desert. In the summertime, it's awful. It's just hot. And I love to say, like in Tucson, we have 8 months of awesome, 4 months of awful. That's kind of like how I classify it. And people argue with me whether it's 8 and 4, or if it's 7 and 5, or 3 and 9, whatever. I don't care. I say 8 months of awesome, 4 months of awful. And in the 4 months of awful, really, you just got to like ride in the morning. Like you go out at 6 o'clock, it's okay. Or you go out at like 6 o'clock at night, it's also okay. Or you just night ride, which is great.
Yeah. But
throughout the day, it's really hot, super hot. So we're lucky enough to be like 6 hours or so from San Diego, which from my perspective is a great place to visit. Not so much a great place to live, just because the cost of living is just more than I can afford. So we travel out to San Diego, and for a long time, every year, my family and I, especially after we got kids, and even before that, would go out there and spend time on the beach in San Diego. And there's just an amazing like series of bike paths that go along the beach. And there, it's not douchey to play music.
Oh yeah, everyone's playing music, aren't they? I forgot about that. Like
on the totally boardwalk. Cool. Yeah, on the boardwalk. So like, I have had every evolution of Bluetooth speaker that's come out in the last 10 or 15 years.
Oh yeah, because you guys spend every summer you're out there, or, a couple times a year. And I forgot you spend a lot of time riding that boardwalk.
Totally do. We typically go to Mission Beach, rent a house there. But I think I drove my family crazy, or I like saturated them with too much San Diego. Cause during COVID, like we got locked down, right? Like everyone got locked down, and I was just pulling my hair out. Like we got to do something. And so we figured out that like the beaches for the most part were still open. And like nobody was renting the VRBO. So the prices just dropped down to like nothing. And we were working from home. The kids were going to school from home. So I'm like, screw it. If we're all going to be at home, let's just spend a week every month in San Diego. And so that's what
was it did. That often? I couldn't remember how.
It wasn't quite that often, but it was, I mean, I think we took like 8 trips to San Diego.
It was a lot. That's when you started catching all these fish also. I remember you posting on Instagram.
Yeah, I got really big into surf fishing there and would go out and surf fish before work every day. But I think I just like San Diego'd out my family, and we haven't been back we haven't gone this year. As a matter of fact, they went up to the cabin up in the mountains. That reminds me, we have got to talk about, so we went up to Mount Graham in Eastern Arizona this past weekend, where the family's got a cabin. And Lacey and Chad, my brother-in-law, they rode a new trail that goes from Turkey Flat down to Engels Orchard that some of the mountain biking groups have been working on, that they said was like the most extreme trail they'd ever ridden. Lacey fell 3 times. They said at some points the trail was no wider than your bike tire, with like a huge like cliff on one side.
Oh, and if Lacey said it was
gnarly, it really,
gnarly.
If she said it was gnarly, it really was. And so I was so funny because they kind of told me what they were going to do, and I was like, yeah. I mean, like I am not a fan of exposure, and so this is what I'll ask. Like, I want to go to Moab. I've never been to Moab. I heard it's just epic. I'd love to do a trip there, Mike. I'd love for you to come with me or something if we can.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
I want to do a ride called the Whole Enchilada.
Okay.
Mike, if you haven't heard about that, worth have a couple PBRs, get the YouTube going, and Google Moab and the Whole Enchilada. Look at the trail.
Will do.
I really want to do that at some point. It's a shuttle ride.
Oh, cool.
But I'm scared of the exposure. I really don't like trails that are exposed. It just wigs me out. So if there's any of our listeners that have done the Whole Enchilada, they can help pump me up and tell me the exposure is not that bad and I'll be fine and quit being a wussy or a wimp. I would love to have that encouragement because I really need to go do it. It's like a bucket list thing. I haven't done it and I'm scared of it. So I just need to overcome my fears. But sounds like I made the wise decision this past weekend up on Mount Graham in Arizona. I bought the gravel bike and I went ahead and did a climb up the road which, speaking of the Tour de France, is kind of similar to that type of riding where you're doing switchbacks. And I think in a 5-mile climb, I did like 1,700 feet of climbing. So it was pretty significant.
Oh, nice.
Climb up.
Yeah, I just big climb.
5 miles. I was going to do 8 miles up and 8 miles down, and I got 5 miles up and there was a storm coming in. And so I turned around. The storm actually never came and never hit. So, I totally could have done it, but I didn't want to get caught in the rain. So I came back.
So who's building that trail out on Mount Graham?
So I believe it's SMDB, Sonoran Desert Mountain Bikers, SDMB. I believe the Sonoran Desert Mountain Bikers are the group that's working on it. I could be wrong about that. So if there's a listener out there that wants to correct me, please feel free. But they're doing trail work on Mount Graham. And so that's one of the locations. We've done some of the trails out there in the past, like before the fires came in, and they were very, very tough, but pretty fun. So there's some others that we know, like Heligraph down to Arcadia, crap, I can't remember the bottom. Oh, it goes down lower than Turkey Flat, but we know some of the trails down there that are pretty good, downhill trails. So maybe we'll get back out this year and try some of those other trails, but that particular trail, the one from Turkey Flat down to Angles Orchard, nutty. If you happen to be in Eastern Arizona in the Gila Valley, go check out Mount Graham and go to this time of year. You can go to Angles Orchard, and they have a great orchard down there. It's got all kinds of apples and pears and peaches and plums and stuff. It's pretty cool. Mostly apples. I think the pears have pretty much come up, or the peaches have pretty much come off by now, but it's mostly apples.
Very cool. And speaking of downhill, are you excited for your weekend coming up?
Oh man, I cannot tell you how excited I am. So we're going up to Angel Fire, New Mexico over Labor Day. Angel Fire Bike Park. We spent a week there earlier in the year. You're addicted to that place now, aren't you? I am, and it's probably worth telling the story. So maybe I'll save the story for when we get back. I want to talk about Angel Fire. I actually want to have my youngest Matt come on and talk about his experience with Angel Fire. Yeah, because your kids are bombing those hills now and hitting the jumps, aren't they? Yeah, no, absolutely. And I spent the weekend, a good part of the weekend, getting all the bikes prepped. We got a Ripmo that my youngest is going to ride. Lacey's, my wife's going to ride a Ripley. I've got the Vitus that I just put that Fox Factory on. I just put like kind of the big wheel sets with the bigger tires on all the bikes. Got them all tuned up. Got the suspension all tuned up. My youngest is riding a Spawn. You put some new brake pads. We talked about the MTX brake pads last week, and we've got those on my Vitus and on my son's. I've got the kind of gold MTX Clydesdale pads or e-bike pads on my bike, and I've got the red race. Yeah, that's what they call heavy riders, right? I got the red race ones on Maddie's bike, right. And we're stoked, man. We're gonna leave on Thursday, drive up. It's about 8 or 9 hour drive, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday we'll be hitting the trails. Hopefully the weather will hold. Get lots of good runs in. Monday we drive back. Really looking forward to kind of like the whole experience. This will probably be the last time that we get up to Angel Fire this year. We might try to do over fall break if we can make it work. We might try to go up to Sunrise, which is in the White Mountains. They're actually working on their bike trails there. They've got some trail builders, and they're putting in some kind of flowy, I don't know. It looks like a dual cross type racetrack. Looks pretty interesting. So would love to go check that out. They've been putting a lot of work into that. So it'd be cool to go ride the trails that so many people have dedicated so much time to. I'm sure it looks like it'll be a lot of fun. So hopefully those will be open, and we'll try that out. And it looks like, I also saw up at Sunrise, they are committing to put significant investment, into the mountain, into the lifts, into the facilities, into the rental fleet, all kinds of stuff. So for the downhill bikes? Well, no, I think it's for the resort in general. So I think probably focused primarily on the ski season, ski and snowboard season. Yeah. But it's really evident that they've put some work into their mountain biking. And I mean, they've hired these trail builders, and I follow them on Instagram or whatever. And seems like there's a lot of good work going on and some pretty interesting trails. So it'll be worth to go check out and see how it does.
Yeah.
You know, for kind of like the Southwest, best I can tell. Now I haven't been to Mammoth, and I haven't been to a whole lot of places, to be honest with you. But from what everyone tells me, like Angel Fire is where it's at. That's just the place to go.
So in the Southwest, Angel Fire is the place. And is there a group going out from Tucson with you?
Yeah. So like, so initially it was just my family, right? It was Lacey and myself and the two boys. And then, you know, we kind of shared our plans, and, you know, a number of people were like, hey, that's a good idea. So Megan, my nutritionist and Lacey's friend, and Megan owns Iron Grip CrossFit here in Tucson, which I'm not a CrossFit guy, but best I can tell, it's like an amazing CrossFit gym. And you kind of go in there and you look at the vibe seems very cool. The people seem very pumped. The equipment looks good. The scene is nice. And I know Megan, very professional, very knowledgeable. So if you're interested in CrossFit or you're in the Tucson area, definitely recommend you look up Iron Grip CrossFit, which is kind of in the Rita Ranch area in the eastern Tucson. But Megan will be up there. I think Ben from Ben's Bike, and I'm hoping to like solidify a number of guests for the podcast in the future. So Ben from Ben's Bikes, he'll be up there. A handful of other folks. I think Ashley, another rider that Lacey rides with, it's kind of in this crew, and her dad, Don, who works at Ben's Bikes, going to be up there.
I've met Don. Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's a whole crew of folks going. So it should be fun.
I would imagine the more people you get, the more fun it is. Hey, like encouraging each other and watching all the jumps and cruising, following everyone. I wish I could be there this weekend, Josh. Maybe one of these times, I'll be able to join you guys.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just like, so like right now you're probably 3 hours from Angel Fire, right? Cause you're in Kirky right now. You're in Albuquerque right now.
Yep, I am Albuquerque, sitting in a hotel doing the podcast remotely. And,
which is the first time. So in the comments, we'd love to hear, like, you know, the first two, this is our third podcast. The first two we did all in person. You know, I just think logistically we won't be able to do them all in person. So we're kind of testing out on this one, the call-in feature. So it sounds pretty good from like my headphones here. And I'll go back, obviously listen to it and see if there's some things I can do to tweak the sound if it's jacked, but would really be interested in any of the listeners' feedback on how this sounds. But so you're in Kirky, Albuquerque.
Yep.
For
the
work
timing
today.
is I'll be heading back when you're, you know, heading this way. So we're going to be able to almost wave to each other, and just going to miss it this time.
I highly recommend you play hooky one day, drive up to Angel Fire, even if just for half a day, see if you can figure out how to do it. I promise we won't publish this podcast if you do it. Because we talked about it on here, we just won't publish the podcast if you actually take a day off and go up to Angel Fire.
Oh, that's a good one. Yes.
It's you know, so we'll talk more about Angel Fire, because my first experience, it scared me.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
This is a whole podcast in and of itself.
Yeah. So let's save that story. Let's save that story.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right, but we got to come back to music, man, because that's the topic for today. Okay, so I got another article here, and this one's easy. This is a CNET article. It came out in October of 2019. 10 tips to safely listen to music while biking.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so let's go through each one of these. Some of these we've already talked about, some we haven't. We'll talk about each one of these 10 things. So the first one, leave one earbud out.
Okay, yep.
So we already talked about that. So that's an idea. It's what Croto did. I tried it. And you know when I tried it? I tried it when my last ride with Lacey. So, oh Jesus, Mike, Lacey. So like my typical ride is like an hour. That's about the amount of time I have. You know, I've got a high stress job. I've got a family and kids, and Mike and I, if we're lucky, we'll get up before everyone else and we'll go out and ride our bikes for an hour. and I try to ride 50 miles a week, 1 hour at a time, maybe one ride or two rides on the Peloton. But I'm lucky enough that my company works a 9/80 schedule, which means that every other Friday I have off. And so every other Friday I have off when the kids are in school. My wife, who is a homemaker now, she's retired by choice. We go out and we ride. And last week, she took me out on Sweetwater on the west side of town, which was a blast.
I know you were planning Sweetwater. I haven't heard the story. How did it go?
So it was awesome. It was so much fun. It's a great trail system. And really just like we've been riding these trails out here. And I guess this is kind of the global thing, right? Like sometimes a fresh trail can like totally bring the bike back to life. And so I didn't
know that was a thing.
I just you get kind of like, you get bored with the same trails over and over and over again. Eventually it gets stale, it gets old.
Sure.
It's like anything. It's like listening to disco when you've been listening to pop punk forever, right? Just like,
right.
Sometimes that diversity is a great thing, right? They say diverse teams make better decisions. I honestly believe that. I've seen that firsthand. And like, diversity of experience is a big deal. And so we went out, we rode the Sweetwater Trail System, and there's nothing like super amazing or way better than what we have. It's just different, right? So we went out, we rode, and I had like, I don't know how, you look on Strava. I don't know how, and I'm not fast, guys, by any stretch of the imagination, but I had like, I don't know, there's probably like 20 segments out there, and I had like 15 personal records, right? PRs.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Yeah, right. It's good for me. And I was trying to keep up with my wife, and for her, like her relative effort was like, I don't know, it was like 70, and my relative effort was like 170. So what that means just in general was I was working 2.5 times as hard as she was to go the same speed. So we go do that ride, and we come home, we have lunch, and she goes to pick up the boys, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to lay down and take a little nap. And like, I slept for 3 hours straight in the middle of the day.
Did you really?
Oh my God. I think like combination of work, stress,
always the work and stress,
sleep deprivation, all adding up. And then trying to keep up with Lacey, who has the ability to ride, somewhere between 10 and 12 hours a week, where I'm riding, somewhere between 4 and 5 hours a week. It's hard for me to keep up with her, but I'm
so let me ask,
go ahead.
When you're trying to keep up with Lacey, because sometimes when I try to keep up with you, especially on the downhills, I have trouble doing that from the technical, standpoint. I don't want to go over the bars again. So when you're riding with Lacey, is it endurance, or is it technical, or is it a combination that makes her just so fast?
Yes. There is not an aspect.
Okay. Gotcha.
There is not a part of the bike that she's not faster than me, to be honest with you. Okay. That's super embarrassing. Right. It used to be like when our kids were first born, okay, but pre-kids, she kicked my butt all the time. She just like her family, her brothers, her dad, her whole family, they have this just uncanny ability for balance, for dexterity. They just like extreme sports. It's like just natural to them. And for me, like nothing comes natural. It's all just a struggle. Like I'm a big, goofy, like clumsy dude. It just takes me forever to get. I mean, I work hard now and I'll become proficient, but it's hard. It's natural for them. And so she used to kick my butt all the time. And then she had kids and she didn't get to ride as much. And so during those times, I would catch her and pass her on the uphills. And then she would pass me on the downhills because she's just an amazing descender. And then I would catch her again and pass her on the uphills. And then she would catch me on the downhills, and pass me on the downhills. Now she's so much better. I mean, her power to weight ratio is, I don't know, 2 or 2.5 times what mine is.
That'd be an interesting conversation, Josh, for future.
Yeah.
Make a note, that power, what do you call it?
Yeah. So power to weight ratio using a functional threshold power test. And I can go through the whole logic of like why I hired Megan as a nutritionist. And it all came down to power to weight ratio and how my FTP test was so much higher from a wattage perspective than Lacey's, my wife. But when you look at her, you know, I don't know what she weighs. Like, it's crazy. It's like 130 pounds or something. And my weight, which at the time was pushing 300 pounds. And I think today I'm down to like 267 or something.
Right on.
Yeah, man. So the whole reason I hired Megan, honestly, I mean, it's a great idea to lose weight and get in shape, all that kind of stuff. But really the driving force was power to weight ratio. And I can't have Lacey kicking my ass so hard.
Power to weight ratio.
Power to weight ratio. Yeah. Lacey kick. Okay. So I don't know how we got on this, but we were like back to music, right? So the first thing we said was leave one earbud out. And somehow we got on this whole like,
wow,
tangent.
that was a divergent trail.
Yeah. The crazy diversion. Okay. So number two, back to the music. Don't use noise canceling headphones or earbuds.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about that?
That's a good one. Yeah. So that you can hear the outside noises. That's probably a really good suggestion. Yeah.
I've actually never bought a noise canceling headphones. Have you ever tried them?
I have. No, I have not.
Okay. So you and I really have no experience and shouldn't be talking about this at all. So in the comments, if you have experienced noise canceling headphones, positive or negative, please let us know what you think about noise canceling headphones on the trail. 1 ear in, 1 ear out, 2 ears in, whatever you call it, let us know. Next one. We've already kind of talked about this. Bone conduction headphones, like head shocks.
Yep.
Now, we probably won't get to it. Wait, are we going to get to it? Is it one of these options? Let me read through here. It's not one of these options. Okay. So, oh, no, it is. Never mind. We'll keep going. Option 4, keep the volume down.
I don't know if we can do that one.
No, if it's too loud, you're too old.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pushing 50. How old are you now?
I'm 49.
You're really
last week.
You're really pushing
49.
50.
I am pushing right on
Jesus.
the cusp.
Oh, dude, what are we doing for your 50th birthday?
Let's do a whole enchilada.
Yeah, you want to do that, or should we go
That'd be
bigger?
pretty
Should we
epic,
go bigger
wouldn't
than
it?
that?
Bigger?
Yeah.
How can you go bigger than Moab?
Well, let's go to Europe or like Australia. Let's go to Africa. Let's go to South Africa and ride. I mean, like, come on. You only turn 50 once, man.
That's true.
We'll start a GoFundMe. The listeners will kick in. We'll go to Africa. We'll blog the whole. We'll podcast the whole time. It'll be awesome.
All right.
So let's.
I'm down.
Let's Moab. We need to do, but for your 50th birthday, let's go to BC. Like something bigger than Moab. Let's go to Whistler.
Or something?
Let's go to Whistler.
That would be pretty sweet.
Okay, that's it. Let's go to Whistler because that's not as crazy as Europe, not as crazy as like Africa, but still pretty awesome. And then like on my 50th birthday, we go to Australia or something like that. Okay.
Out back. Yeah.
So next year, your 50th birthday, 2023, somewhere around there, we're going to Whistler.
Okay.
And I don't care if we got to like red eye it, go ride for 2 days and red eye it home.
Oh, or you don't care.
I really don't.
Up with you.
I
know you don't.
We're going to make it happen.
No, that's just it. Because I know you're not kidding.
We're going to make it happen.
Yeah, you would red eye it and then work the next day. And
let's do it. So just pencil it in. At some point, we're going to Whistler. All right. So keep the volume down. We say if it's too loud, you're too old. Screw that. Volume's got to be up. I mean, not so loud that it hurts your ears, but yeah, it's got to be up. All right. This is an interesting one. Check the wind speeds before you go.
Why? How would that factor in?
Okay.
Yeah.
So great topic. We got high winds out here, especially in the afternoon. You and I typically ride in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when I go ride in the afternoon, the wind will be, kicking 15 to 20 miles an hour. And if you're riding into the wind, oftentimes the wind is blowing so loud that no matter how loud I turn up my speaker, I cannot hear the music or the podcast or whatever I'm listening to.
Yeah.
Check the wind speeds before you go. All right. So clip on a Bluetooth speaker. We've already talked about that one. All right. Here's one that we haven't talked about at all. I did not even know they existed. I guess it totally makes sense that they exist. But if you're a cyclist, invest in a Bluetooth helmet.
Oh, wow.
They actually make helmets with speakers to include the bone conducting speakers, but not exclusively those. Like built,
so it's like surround sound helmet.
Like built into the helmet. So like music plays, it plays loud, but only for you. So it's like, you know, I don't think that would be as annoying as us blaring our JBL Flip 5 playing the Toadies or whatever we're listening to at that minute. Super
So
loud.
I'm Googling it right now. I'm curious what these run.
Yeah. There's a company called Coros, I think, Coros, but there's a handful of, if you go to Amazon, you'll find a bunch of them. The ones that I found today, Mike, were started about, I think you could find them for like 150, and then it just went north. It just went north from there.
So until you see the paw prints that you and I saw for miles, I love the idea. But there definitely is something, because when we're riding, especially when it's dawn or dusk, you know, when and we need our headlamps, our lamps, that's when they're out there, right? The mountain lions. So I do have a peace of mind with the music going, blaring out of the JBL.
Yeah. Okay. So couple more here. If you're pull way off the trail, or the road, if you need to adjust the volume. And I think this is kind of like pre-voice command, because I don't know if you notice, Mike.
Sure.
I don't know if you notice, but oftentimes I'm talking to my Apple Watch saying, hey Siri, skip this song, or hey Siri, turn volume up or turn volume down or whatever.
Yes, I have seen you do that, and that's pretty slick. And so are they saying when someone pulls up to us or is near us that you turn it down?
No, but that is something that we have tried to do, because I can control it from my watch. Oftentimes we've tried to, if we see someone coming, we've tried to turn the music off. Although we did pass a couple not that long ago, and you made a really funny comment, which I'm sure is probably not going to go over well, but whatever, I'm already down the path, so I'm going to say it. But you and I, both two married dudes, ride and listen to disco early in the morning, and we pass this couple and they look at us all weird, and we come back and we're like, hey, why are they looking at us as weird? It's because the music, or it's because two dudes listen to disco. But let me just start by saying like I respect like all orientations. Totally cool with that. So forget the fact that I even said that. As a matter of fact, whatever.
And all types of music.
All types of music. Diversity, diverse teams, diverse people. Diversity is good.
That's right.
I honestly believe in that. So pretty funny though, listening to, regardless of orientation, listening to disco music, and they came from 1983 when it's like 2022 is a weird. That's like 30-year-old music, dude. Holy crap. When did I get to be this old?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Man, I don't know.
Is there anything else on that list?
Yeah, man. So it says follow the rules of the road, the trail, of course. Then it says stay vigilant. I don't know how great this list was, but whatever.
No, it's good. I think there's some things people, never know where they're coming from, but the new golf, what do they call that? Live. Have you heard about this?
Oh man. Is this the Saudi thing?
No. This is. I should Google this quick, but it just came to mind. So Live is the new golf. What would that be? Company or tournament versus like a PGA.
That's
tour.
The Saudi thing.
Okay.
This is the Saudi thing. It's backed
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's backed by Saudi Arabia, and a lot of they've paid a bunch of the like kind of old school PGA guys to go over.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that comes from there.
Tons of controversy on this, man. You're opening up a can of worms. So let's see.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to go that. But here's where I'm going. Some people said it's going to turn into like a Happy Gilmore type thing, and so this whole music writing, it could go one of two ways, Josh. People could look at it and be like, those guys are absolute jerks.
Yep.
For doing it.
Which typically is what happens. Or we could be the trendsetters.
Right.
And the new coolest thing is integrated Bluetooth speakers built into your frame.
Into the frame would be pretty rad.
You could use the down tube as like a sound like
for the
bass, like what do they call the bass things when you buy like speakers? What do they call the woofers or whatever?
The woofer, subwoofers.
Yeah, you can use your down tube as a woofer.
Integrated subwoofer.
There you go. Integrated subwoofer into your down tube. Big fat down tube, so it looks like an e-bike. Hey, and they can be integrated into the e-bikes. Dude.
It'd be perfect. Yeah.
Listen, we're patenting this right now. Patent pending. Patent pending. Integrated Bluetooth.
No one steal this great idea.
Yeah, you heard it here first. As soon as you buy the first bike that's got integrated Bluetooth and speakers using the down tube as a subwoofer, please tell them they owe a royalty to the Mountain Cog podcast team.
Yep. Great idea.
All right, brother. Well, hey, listen, man, this has been a great chat.
I agree. And one thing has not changed, my how much I appreciate having that speaker on the trails. And maybe we could turn it down a few clicks when we go past some folks. But it hasn't changed my mind one way or the other.
All right, listen. So we're gonna leave it up to our viewers, our listeners here. Leave some comments, and if we get enough comments telling us that this is the biggest douchebag move ever,
all right, I'll consider that.
We'll consider not doing it. But if we continue to if we don't get that like just complete internet backlash telling us that we're complete jackasses for doing this, then one day you might hear, I don't know, country music.
Boy.
Like, I think that's the next thing we got to do, man. I'm kind of like, I don't know what it is, man. I'm hooked on Eric Church right now. That song, Jack Daniels. Oh God, it's such a good song. So,
wow.
Yeah. We go crazy.
I'll just ride a little farther back that day if you're playing the country.
Listen, man, you're going to be into it. I'm telling you, it's great.
All right. I trust you.
To all of our listeners, we appreciate you guys for sticking with us. These will get better. We're learning. We're going to get a little better every time, and we'll keep talking about bikes and keep the rubber side down. We love you all. Take care.